Now, when it comes to adding particles to your build, I guess you do have quite a few options. The only problem with that is that, well, depends on what server you go to. Sound familiar? So I put together another Starfall chip, and I was betting on, well, usually anywhere there's expression 2, there's going to be Starfall. I did put together a couple of demos, but the better one is going to be, yeah, the chip I am using so far for my tank. So you can see I have an exhaust effect that does change with the throttle of the engine. There it is. Another thing I'm quite proud about is, well, I added a track dust effect. But anyway, I set this up in such a way that it depends on the terrain you're actually driving on, whether or not you can make dust or not. So driving on the grass won't make any. There we go, across the dirt. And we got some more dust. But okay, if you are interested in such a chip, I have wiped my, I guess, local files of Partycle. So I guess we can see how to pick it up. So here is the repository. It gets its own one. And what we definitely need is the core. So I'm going to go grab that. And we can just, copy raw file. Control A, Control V, Control S. And it should save to the correct position. You can see it gets its own folder. Yep, Partycle, and we can see the core in there now. Let's go ahead and grab the documentation as well. Yoink. And yeah, sure, make a new file. Control V, Control S. So all the documentation is not really required, but if you want to know the functions and what they do and some other neat things, then yeah, this is worth having. But Mr. Duff, how do I actually use this thing? Good question. So we pretty much never do anything with the core, so we can just close that. As long as we have that, that'll get included into other things. We'll close the documentation too. So let's get the simple emitter example. This one is not very impressive at all, but it's a nice place to start. By default, it includes the core, which you will need for everything. So let's just spawn this thing and see what happens. Interesting. Another thing about this is I did set it up so that it could use a lever. Let's go ahead and get one. There we go. So one of the things about Partycle is there is automatic networking of inputs. So if we scrutinize the chip a little bit, go ahead and take a look. Okay, we have a material that'll come in a minute. So this is setting the material of that particle. And here you can see this is how we add an input that, again, is going to get automatically networked. We have this thing, create system, spawn function. This is where pretty much most of the magic happens. So you never want to run this function if you can't spawn any more particles or if you're about to go over the limit. So make sure you don't run, basically. And yeah, this particle emission function right here. If we go into the Starfall helper, I guess, yeah, documentation, we look for Partycle spelled correctly and not in my library. We want emitter. So the emitter add function is Starfall's function, and this is basically how you spawn a particle. And notice that the emitter actually returns a particle object. So once you spawn a particle, there's even more functions you can use. So if we go here, particle, there's a lot, there's more things you can set. So one of the things I'm using in the demo is set velocity, not get velocity, right here. So to make this particle go up, depending on, lever, we just set the velocity on the Z. And basically this is as simple as it gets. You make a system and you give it basically instructions on what to do with itself. Okay, now going further, you can see I got the tank out between frames. Let's go ahead and get the other demo. So here we go, turbine tank. We're gonna yoink that. It's gonna break because there's something particle party box. I don't know. Basically, so this was the idea of having a library for making particle effects. So you make something you like, put it in a different folder somewhere, and you can just include it into the main so you don't have all this like code everywhere. There, it's happy. So from the user's view, we have all of our parameters that we just make as a table, and we're setting the spawn function equal to the result of the exhaust effect. So all that's happening is, yeah, we're getting this function back. But there's some other things it does, like setting up inputs. But you can see, like, okay, there's the idea of intensity. So when I'm throttling the engine more, I want aspects about the particles to change. So I believe this is the what is this? Yeah, this is the alpha, the starting alpha of the particle. This is the lifetime of the particle. This is yeah, the sizes of them, size multiplier that changes depending on, yeah, the intensity. And I'm using this remap function a lot. This one's pretty nice. Randomizing the roll. So this is a nice way to make the particle not look, yeah, the same. So if I were to go back to the simple emitter example, and if I were to add this, and what roll max is just, oops, going off the page. Imagine using radians. Disgusting. But yeah, so you can see how this almost looks like a clone of itself if I were to do this. Now it's randomized, the like rotation of it, so it doesn't really look like the same thing. And there's some really important things to do because this is Starfall. We can't do any violations basically. So again, don't try to do this if no particles are left. Don't try to do this if the prop doesn't exist, because we're referencing entities. So we can go to the track dust effect, and we're going to be doing some similar things. We're just going to be spawning the particle at the track, and you can see I'm doing a little bit of raycasting. And these are all configurable. So I have 2 exhaust effects because I have wide exhaust, and I have 2 dust effects. And I'm being kind of lazy and copying the table and only changing certain things for the 2 emitters basically. You don't have to make your own libraries if you don't want to. You can copy paste all of this and just put this in main chip and put it under the spawn function. I just thought it was kind of, yeah, nice to have it as a library. So there's something else you can do if you want. And I believe that just about wraps it up. So once again, I am selling more of a blank canvas than an actual chip you can do anything with. Nevertheless, it does come with a few rather limited examples, I guess. That being said, I don't think I can build another tank without these particle effects. So, and we'll see what else I cook up. But yeah, that's good. Oh dear, that's a wall. But otherwise, that's gonna do it for this one. A bit longer than I'd like, but have fun, and I'll see you around.